fast clicker. That's what my wife always says.
Oh, double click that mouse. We are the CommanderSmiths. You can take us everywhere you go. We are the CommanderSmiths. Podcast every single episode. CommanderSmiths. We are the CommanderSmiths.
The right stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's back in that Milli Vanilli time
Kinda,
era.
yeah.
So I don't really know it.
It's one of my wife's favorite bands from back in the day.
She has really bad taste in music.
She had their posters and everything.
Boy band.
Yes.
New Kids on the Block.
Oh, way to go! High
I got
five! That's awesome. The name of the song is "You Got It," though. I thought it was the right stuff, but you said the right stuff. Actually, that's how I searched it. But when I did the lyrics, it's actually called, I guess, "You Got It." But I always thought it was.
You got it. Is that what?
Yeah. But here's the side note to all this. The reason why
you
this
went
is
to
in my
their
head,
concert this time.
No, you know how I know this? I knew this song because Weird Al introduced all my music in the 90s pretty much. So I've been playing, how I'm going to kind of tail into how this all came about. I played Thriller for my boys. They freaking love it because it's scary and they hear the wolves howling and they love him talking at the end with the, what's his name? I don't know his name, but the guy. I don't
remember his name either.
But it laughs at the end, and my littlest one always is ha 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 ha. So then that made me think of Weird Al doing all the Michael Jackson songs. So I started playing Weird Al for them, and they love. It's called The White Stuff, which sounds really gross, but it's talking about Oreos. And so that's all we've been listening to all this week is
Do you know what's also awesome is that Weird Al is also kind of relevant again for a short bit. You know that the Africa song that we did when Weezer was hot? He's actually the lead singer in the music video for that Africa song. Yeah, that's him. That's Weird Al lip syncing and stuff like that.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
All right. Well, welcome to CommanderSmiths. That was a really long freaking intro.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I am Lowry Smith.
And we are cousins.
We're
not going to forget it again.
And we will never die.
This is episode number 38.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yep, 38.
We're losing track. I can't count.
I know, every time I'm
30.
like, what number are we on now?
Maybe 34. Anywhere where my age is, I can't go
you
above
can't remember.
that. Yeah,
I actually don't remember my age a lot, so I'm like, Cindy, how old am I? And so right now I know it's easy because it's kind of like a round number, 35-ish.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That works out. You can follow us on Twitter at CommanderSmiths.
You can Gmail us at CommanderSmiths@gmail.com.
38 episodes in and we got it down. Or you can YouTube us, do all this stuff
next week.
You do for YouTube. Subscribe to us, like us, all that, share it, whatever.
It makes us feel nice and good inside.
But yeah, this week, what are we doing this week? We have quite a bit to talk about this week.
So I've been playing nonstop Arena for 2 weeks. And
you have too?
And you've been doing your deal. So we're going to discuss and talk about that.
A little bit of arena discussion topics, and then we're also going to kind of talk about how we store our cards.
Adam reorganized all of his stuff, and so he's forcing me to talk about my stuff because he's like has a good system now, and I'm like,
well, actually, I'm very curious. I haven't talked to you. I don't think I even know how you store. I've been in your basement and seen the piles of cards everywhere, but I don't know what you do with yours. So I'm going to be learning stuff about you with this too. So, but yeah, and then we finish off with what? We're kind of our Smith specs, a little different though.
Yeah, we're going to focus on the Commander 2018 product and some of the cards that we would. The cards, like a second print run has come out. Cards are starting to go down and get really reasonable at this point. And
we're at that time frame that Lowry has discussed.
Yeah, that came out August 10th. It is November I'm trying to guess what date you're listening to this.
So it'd be the 5th.
The 5th?
But
You are listening to this as soon as you possibly can.
Exactly.
And that's when we're probably going to release it. Probably around 10 p.m. Monday night, which is the 5th. You will be listening.
No, not
right
a Monday night. We always do it. I do it in the morning.
It will be Monday night.
Okay.
The least
All right,
convenient
great.
time.
That leaves me a little more time for the work then. I'm
you
gonna do
have
it Monday
plenty
night.
of time now.
But yeah, so why don't we start off with Arena? We did, like you said, you've been playing it for 2 weeks now. I'm at about a month, maybe 3 weeks. I don't know. Did I start a week ahead of you? Oh. We kind of wanted to talk about,
because I was in Germany before.
Oh, that's right. So I was playing it for the 2 weeks that you were in Germany. That's when I kind of started picking it up. We were going to talk about last week, but then Larry wanted to do a little bit. We wanted to do some drafts.
I want to do a couple drafts, and I needed more coinage.
Yeah. So more coinage.
Coinage.
What do you
cut
think?
that up, and that's gonna be a sounder.
Coinage.
Coitus.
What do you feel? How does it feel for you now?
It's a lot of fun. I'll admit. Like I enjoy playing Magic, and I'm not paying any money to be doing this, which is also nice. I mean, like I still spend plenty of money on this game, but it's nice to be able to actually get some games in. It feels like limited.
Right.
It's like a really good limited. They you get given like decks at the beginning so that you have a little bit of a foundation, and then these decks aren't like fine tuned, but it's nice because everybody's isn't fine tuned. It just depends on it
when you
depends
get
on
higher in the ranking, then you start
where you are in the ranking.
Yeah. I started coming across some combo decks because my ranking's getting high. Well, actually, we're about the same ranking we figured out, right?
You're bronze tier 1 is the guess.
I think so.
And I just got into bronze tier 1 last night.
Nice.
And then I lost, so I'm not sure if I went down below.
Mine goes all the way. I get to almost to the next level, and then I lose a couple, and it goes all the way.
It's anxiety-inducing when you're like, "Why is my ranking going all the way down?" Then I just click as soon as I can to move on. I don't want to see that.
If I click fast enough, does it mean it didn't drop anymore?
It just stops. You got to be a fast clicker. That's what my wife always says.
Oh, double click that mouse.
She stopped listening a long time ago.
But I think one of the biggest things that frustrates me, since this is the first time we're actually going to be talking about it discussion-wise or whatever, is the fucking counterspell stuff. And I hate it in Commander, and I hate it in this. And to the point where I flick off my screen when it happens. And I'm like,
it
fuck
hurts.
you. Because it is
hurt.
I'm not playing Magic anymore. All I'm doing is just trying to see when you tap all your mana, and then I'm going to play a creature, or you're just countering everything I fucking play. And it just sucks. And so actually what I want to do, so I haven't done it. I'm not that much of a dick. And normally I just concede. But what I want to do is like let the timer go to the last possible second, then actually do something for a couple of minutes, and then let the timer kind of reset, and just
draw the game out as long as you can. That's your way of countering their spells.
I just want to. That's my way of flicking them off, because you can't really flick them off in the game. But that's the only.
Yeah, that's probably why
my only complaint.
They
with
do
it.
have. You can click on your little icon. I am Sarkin.
I got a funny story with that. Go ahead, keep going.
So I click on my, you can click on it, and then you have predetermined things like hello and oops, good game, and that's generally I just say hello.
The middle finger
oops,
one they need to add in
there. I mean that in Facebook.
Exactly.
Add in the middle finger.
Funny
icon.
thing with that, I was playing one of my games, and I was about to win, so I was gonna say good game to him because I had a shit ton of merfolk out.
Sure.
And then I was gonna play sleep to make them
tap out,
and then I'd kill them.
Through.
So I cast sleep, and then I went down to click on my guy to say good game, because they're all tapped out.
The game's over.
Right. But with sleep, it makes you choose a player. So I cast it, and I chose myself, and I tapped my stuff out, and I was like, shit. And I wrote, oops, and then he's just like, ha ha ha. I don't remember his response.
That's not a response, but I'm sure that's what he was doing.
It was just like, fuck. I ended up still winning, though. I had to wait. He all attacked me with two of his guys or three of his guys, and it came back to my turn. Couldn't untap him, played more merfolk down.
Just
and then he came back again. No, he didn't attack the second time, because then I had about 8 or 9 merfolk sitting there just to wipe them out. But yeah, it was the stupidest thing. I was like, no! Why would I even be an option? This is so stupid. But yeah,
that's good stuff.
I just remembered as you were talking about that because that was
clicking on the icon. No, I think it's pretty. I mean, like those limited responses kind of suck, but it also takes out the trolling.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is
you can
probably nice.
Huge.
This is the first time I've ever done like any type of online.
Yeah,
gaming.
This is a big step
and
for
so
Lowry.
It's really like gentle, and I appreciate that. I know how brutal it can be. I've heard enough people, and I appreciate it. I'm fine with that. I would like limited interaction with my Magic. I don't want people. I don't want you are just playing cards. That's all I want. I guess my tag is CommanderSmith Lau.
Nice. Mine's CommanderSmith Adam. So
see, we didn't even plan that, but we're just we're plugging our stuff.
So you didn't do Lowry. You did CommanderSmith Lau.
No, I mean I think it got too long.
Oh really?
Like, yeah, I think it cut me off.
She has never said that. I think it got too long.
How do you know? How do you know?
Ouch!
It's like a gardener snake. I don't know how that's good.
Overall, playing. Do you have any complaints? Kind of with? Oh, we kind of discussed a little thing, that, a hiccup. Not hiccup, but something that
it's. I don't think I ever realized how many small little like shortcuts that you do within Magic playing a game like
paper Magic.
We were talking about just like attacking in this game. You got to click it like 4 times.
Right.
It's like attack step, like attack with all, first strike damage, normal damage.
That's what screwed me.
Deal damage, cast an instant or sorcery, and it's giving. I didn't realize like how methodical it has to be online. It totally makes sense on just about every regard of it, but you're just like, all right, fuck it, come on. Or like if you're getting trounced by somebody, you're like, I don't want to just keep on approving you to deal damage to me.
Especially when they have stacks going and you're just having to approve. Okay, you can gain the life and gain. Get more life. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's nice for those like real life shortcuts to be like, okay, you gain 5 life.
Yeah,
great job.
Well, so with that, and I discussed or talked about it with you before the cast, but what happened to me this week is exactly what Lowry was saying. Is I actually came across in one of my drafts that I had a first strike creature, and with that you add another. Yeah, another click.
One. I just added that in, but
you add another click with the first strike, and with that, I was actually literally thinking, okay, this is gonna someday bite me in the ass with all these clicking. I'm gonna actually click through after the attack goes through, and then I'm gonna end my turn when I don't want it. And not 2 turns later, I did it because of that first strike thing. It was making me extra click.
You had muscle memory.
Yeah, I was just like, okay,
I know I have to do
first strike. Okay, because the part that was stupid is I only had the first strike going through, and then the damage icon came afterwards. Well, my first strike already hit. Yeah. So there was nothing else happening. So I was like, okay, go to the next step, and I ended my turn
and
when I wanted to play
too.
something.
You need to be a little bit patient. Like I've hit like end turn and just go, dang it. And I've even hit attack and going, man, I wanted to like play that land so that I can cast an instant. And I'm just like, okay, I don't attack this time because it'll mess me up.
But it's kind of like our real life how we play.
No take backsies. You can't do it. I think reassembling skeleton is probably
your biggest.
Yeah, it's just like there's a pass turn icon underneath. You're just like, I'm not going to do anything. Pass it all the way through, and then I'm like, I wanted to bring it back. I wanted it to turn. And I think you can click on the steps to have stops on it.
Yep.
But it'd just be better if I was patient enough to not click on past the turn.
Lowry's first dealing with computer stuff, computer games.
How dare they do that?
You're just impatient. But do you have any other... Oh, how'd the drafts go?
So we did draft. I drafted twice.
Yeah, I did 2 in the last 2 weeks. This last week as well. First one, you did pretty well, right? Well, first, what'd you freaking get, you bastard?
What? Doesn't everybody get that?
Yeah, right.
Teferi and Lyra,
not in your opening pack. You got it passed to you.
I got it passed to me. It was pack 3, pick 2. Computer passed it to me, Teferi, and then I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna try and work some blue in. I was just like, I'm only gonna pick blue so that I can have a little bit to work with Teferi. Next card was Lyra, Dawnbringer. I was like, oh, I guess I'm gonna pick white this time. Now all blue. Stop passing me amazing cards.
They're just trying to fuck with you. They're like,
Yeah.
is he actually going to take this?
Yeah, and so like in draft, you're drafting against the computer, but then you play against real people.
Right,
Like
that's the
everybody's
part
doing
that's
their
nice.
own deal.
The computer part's interesting. And I guess it can emulate real life, where my first draft, the first couple cards were fungus kind of related,
Yeah.
so I was going for that. Well, it just so happened the computer was doing the same thing, because those were the last fungus I saw the entire fucking time, except for when I opened my pack. That's how I could tell, because my pack would open, there was like 4 different fungus things,
And come back
by the
with
time
nothing.
around, there was none of that there anymore.
And that's how you learn to like read a draft.
Right.
When you're like, oh man, maybe I should move into a different set, or a different.
But then that's the problem with it. Not problem. It's fine the way. That's the only way I think they can do it, unless they go to the Magic Online way. Is you wait for people all to gather.
Yeah.
So you have to have that many people, and then it starts. But
Again,
when
I
you
prefer
do it,
not to interact and wait for people.
yeah. So you like this
very
much
nice.
better. Yeah.
I can
But
just do it
with that
whenever I
is,
want. I don't have to time it out.
You'll go against those same people you're drafting against. With this, you're going against other people that drafted, and it had nothing to do with
different
your pool or
drafts, yeah.
anything. So
They're not the one that passed me to Fury
yeah,
and Lyra.
exactly. You want to play those fuckers.
And I'm super tempted, because like the computers do a really good job of like, this is what we're going to be playing.
Right.
And then for me, I'm like, oh man, I got like, in my second draft, I went 2 and 3, went shit. But like, I picked like a Chandra Planeswalker, and we're drafting Dominaria. That's kind of what the offset is right now. But I got a Chandra Planeswalker, like pack 2, pick 5, and I was like, yeah, I'll pick that. I'm a value thief. Some people wouldn't like that, but I mean, it's just I don't have a really big collection,
right? So
on
you're
there
just
right
trying
now.
to.
So I'm just like,
also
well, I'm
doing that
playing, and if I do well enough, I get more packs and gems, and which is different than the coinage. And so like, I'm just trying to get good cards. That's why I picked Teferi. I was like, I'm not in blue at all, but
right.
I'm going to splash this card at least.
So we are the CommanderSmiths, but this is, this isn't Commander, but this is a lot. It's Magic. I like this quite a bit.
I think this is gonna get me to play more. I will definitely keep on playing.
I think this is gonna be my only way that I really play anything that isn't Commander. Like, I think paper is always gonna be Commander for me.
Sure.
I don't know if I'll go back. I have those 5 modern decks I have because
I'm not willing to go into a store and play,
right,
unless it's Commander.
We'll do the pre-release events and all those stuff.
Fun,
those are fun for paper,
and that's what this more feels like. It's a 60 card pre-release, a little bit at this point.
We haven't got to do the constructed or sealed stuff, which that kind of sucks. Because by the time I had enough coinage to play the sealed stuff, they took it out. Like, they took out Guilds of Ravnica sealed event. I was like, fuck, that's the one I wanted to play. I feel like we both do pretty well in the pre-release when we do sealed stuff. So I feel like we're pretty
like
good
that
at that.
Better. Yeah,
exactly.
I think it's with draft, it is a skill to read what's being played. Like, I don't know the cards well enough to Dominaria or even
guilds,
even though we've set reviewed it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know every
in a draft format, we don't know necessarily. I guess that's what I kind of like about it, is it's honing our draft skills a little bit, and it's not in person, so it's a little easier, I guess.
It's not as, I suck at this game.
I'm not really good at drafting.
I 2-3'd at him. Instead of like, man, this sucks. So, it's not a best of 3 that I've noticed or played against. So it's just best of 1, then you're moving on. When you're drafting, you're up 2-3 losses or 7 wins.
7 wins. And most I got after you got your, was it 5 wins?
5 wins, yeah.
I got 5 wins. My first draft, I think I got 3 wins, I believe, 3 or 4. So but you still win. I'm almost have enough gems to join a competitive draft. But like I said, I really want to do the sealed stuff. So part of me is like, I'm just going to probably save those up until they bring back some of the sealed, because I do like playing those a lot.
Yeah. And I think if you enjoy playing like really fine-tuned decks, you're probably going to be either grinding this like crazy.
Because after you get your daily coinage, I like that, then it gets down to only 10 coins every freaking win. Or it switches off between 10 coins and a shitty card from like Ixalan. Most of mine have been from Rivals or... Oh, Larry's just going to bust out the beer. Getting a little thirsty there?
I'm getting thirsty.
He's just not being a dick. He's just going to bust it out. That's
We're
nice
having
of you.
a very like... good discussion here.
So it's like a reward.
Yeah. We're both being nice. This is a delicious beer. It is called Oakspire Bourbon Barrel Ale, New Belgium. I feel like I've actually brought this. I'm not entirely sure. New Belgium.
Yeah, we should have a
with not
spreadsheet
Greek.
like of all the stuff that we have, and then kind of have that updated,
Then
and
it can
people
be
can
like,
kind of check it out. I might do that. I might actually, if we get these together, I might make a spreadsheet and we can pop that on Twitter every once in a while or something like that.
Is that what's going to go on?
I don't know.
More lies of things we're not going to do.
Shut up.
Cheers.
Cheers. Now you're being a dick. All right, is this the normal? Actually, it is pretty good.
Yeah, it's really nice and smooth.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I want my
Enjoy.
sours, though. You got to get me more of those sours, buddy.
Okay, back on track.
All right, so I mean that's pretty much it with Arena. Arena's it's fun. I'm excited to see where this goes. I think we've discussed it before. I think this is eventually the killer of Magic Online. I know people might not want to hear that, and this is just my opinion on it. And I've heard other people kind of thinking the same thing. I don't think it's going to happen this year.
Well, I think the rating system is going to be really important for them to get down. For that, like me being new to it, like I'm not new to Magic, but my card pool is like a lot smaller. And so like my decks aren't nearly as good. And so I'm not going to win as consistently because my decks aren't as consistent.
Right.
And so but like I'm going to be against people that are,
Around your
if I'm
rating.
at a 2, I'm going to be hitting, going after, or if I'm a 3, 2s and 4s and 3s. But I'm not going to be really playing against those top tier decks.
Right.
And that's nice. Like
First starting out, yeah.
I still had some ridiculous plays against me. Like, what was it? I was against a red blue spell deck. They play Niv Mizzet. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna attack everything. They block for 2 damage. Then I lava spike it, deal it 3, kill it. Then they play the Ral Zarek Planeswalker.
Oh man, it's just
they were able to ultimate that.
oh geez.
And then play another Ral Zarek, and then the next turn play another Niv Mizzet Perun, and then every spell that they cast, they were dealing me 7 damage and drawing like 3 different cards.
How did you not concede earlier?
I wanted to
You wanted
play
to
it
see
out.
it happen.
It was disgusting. Like I was just like, what is going on? I can't fight against this at all.
That's crazy. I just recently went against a infinite combo deck that they got me out. It was funny because I had board state. I had them dead, not dead, but one more turn back to me, I'd be able to attack through and kill him. And I was at like nearly 30 life, and the dude goes, good game. And I'm like, what the fuck are you saying good game for? I have you. And then he had the one creature that only untaps when you gain life, and then he comboed it with doing something when he gained life. It does damage to me, so then he was just untapping, tapping it somehow. I don't remember exactly what it was. Yeah. After he did it twice, and I was like, that's why you're good gaming me. Concede. I am done. I don't want to see you do this another 12 more times to kill me. So
yeah.
But that's the first one that I came against that was just a combo out. I didn't.
Yeah. Like at this point, like if I see like an Ajani, damn it. What's the 2/2 for 2? No.
Yeah, the gaining life and then he gains a counter.
Yeah. That card is crazy
Yeah.
good in this.
Yep.
At this
good.
point where we're at, that is the only time I've used a wild card. Is like they give you 3. I was like, I want 4.
Yep.
Otherwise, I haven't. There's wild cards. We've talked about that in the past. I haven't really used them because
I used mine in the beginning, which I wish I would have saved it. But I was trying to build my deck a little bit because I wanted to be like. When you really first start out, it's gonna be frustrating. If you're just gonna start out with this, you might get frustrated. You're gonna lose a lot, like a fucking lot, unless you start. And that's why I bought certain cards. I bought one of the arena only cards. The guy that's.
You mean with the wild card, or you actually put money into it?
No, wild
okay,
card.
Okay.
I used one, so I had 2 of them. It's the guy that he's 2 white, 4 colorless. I wish this card was in real life, but any creature that comes into play under you play that has 2 power or less, you get to gain a life and draw a card.
Yeah, that card's really good.
So I was like, I need 2 of those. And so that's why my Boros deck is my best deck. It's really quick, and it normally can have the game done in a couple turns if it's working right.
Well, and like the reason why I held off on wild cards, I'll probably experiment with that here coming, but like when I was first starting to play, they're like, this is where you buy a pack with your 1,000 coins. I'm like, okay, I'll buy one. And then I did it again, and I bought another pack. And I think I bought a third one after, I've gained 3,000 coins. And then Adam's like, hey, have you drafted yet? And I was like, no. Oh, let me do that right now. And I go over there. I'm like, oh, man, I'm like way short now. I was like, I'd much rather like play to get the cards. Which is it's 5,000 coins to draft.
So I'm gonna kind of make fun of you a little bit.
No.
That's your inexperience with playing not playing app games in games, because all app games, when you first start out and they're giving you the tutorial, they tell you to spend this. They give you like the currency in the game, and they're like, all right, this is how you use this to get this, and they're teaching you, but then also at the same time you're spending that, and then later you always need that. So unless the game goes, you have to do this to move forward. Sometimes they do that. Yeah, you just hold on to it until you get a feel of how the currency works in the game.
Yeah.
But that's how all app games are. Yeah,
they got me. Those sons of bitches.
But yeah, so overall it's fun, and I was listening to Saffron Olive, and they're going to be having
from Goldfish.
Yeah, from Goldfish, and they will be adding in player so we can find each other, like play each other.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
Yeah, so that would be fun to,
because then I get to play against the one person I know.
Yeah. Hey, if other people on here are playing, that'd be kind of cool if they wanted to play us, to go against them.
Oh, no, games. I don't want to.
Yeah, interaction with people, Lowry. Oh, no.
I just, it would be a line to play against Commander Smith Lau. Because it's so awesome to beat me. That's pretty much what it's going to feel like. Shit.
I wonder if you get the rewards for it. They're like, oh, this is an easy rewards. Getting my money. Just play Lowry and Adam all the time.
What we're going to do is we're going to lose listeners because they're going to be like, these guys are awful at Magic. We're not. Why are we listening to them?
Because we're CommanderSmiths.
Oh, yeah. That makes it better.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be, oops. That's
you're gonna be your comment every time. Nice.
I just played a creature. Oops. I'm fucked. Oops.
Is that all for your notes on? Oh, you got a clicker pen. Give me that damn pen.
Yeah,
you clickered it. I actually saw
it.
You coming down with that, and I should have said something then.
I've had this on me at every episode.
Have you had the clicker pen? No clicker pens, Larry.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
It's unprofessional. I'm sorry.
I think that was about it.
Anything? That's probably the only thing that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, it takes a long time. Well, you did also kind of mention there was. If you want, you can go on Goldfish's page. Saffron Olive kind of
fifth copy.
The fifth copy that doesn't bug us as much. Yeah, you get 4, and then it goes into, if you have a 5th copy, it goes into, what is it? I don't remember what it's called, but
it goes into a wild card, doesn't it?
Yeah, it goes into a chest that once you get 100%. You open that chest up and it gives you 1 mythic, 2 rares, whatever. Like there's a certain number. And what he was saying is that every 5th copy only gives you 1 point something %. And so it takes a long time for that to build up. It doesn't matter if it was a
mythic or a rare or whatever.
So it just builds it up slowly. And so, yeah, for people that are...
I'm like, oh shit, you got a 5th mythic?
Yeah.
That's terrible. It'd be nice if I had 5 total mythics.
So for us, it wasn't as big of a deal because we're not spending money on the game.
Yeah, I think if you're spending money, I'd be kind of mad.
And I don't think... I might drop money here and there, but we spend so much on paper Magic that doesn't feel... I wouldn't want to do. The only way I'd do that is for events, like maybe a sealed thing. If the only way we could get in and I really wanted to play it, or if we were trying to play together or something like that, that's maybe when I might drop like $10 or something like that. Because then it'd be like going... But the thing is going to like your LGS and spending money there, you're getting physical cards, and that's why
this way, if you're spending $10, you're not getting physical. It's going into your collection, but on this, but yada yada.
Well, we're the free 2-player CommanderSmiths on that.
Soon coming, Arena Smiths.
No, we're not doing that.
You got to make up a whole new logo.
I guess we could do some videos later and put that on YouTube. Arena Smiths. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move into
of Undecisiary.
Wordsmith
I'm
right
drinking.
there. Next topic, it's just kind of just some news that came out. We're just kind of going to gloss over this because probably when you're listening to this podcast, you will already know the news, but people are starting Ultimate Box Topper! So what it was with those Mythic Edition. God, I hope I didn't talk over that because now I really want to use that that yelling. I thought of it as I was talking. I was like, I think I stepped on his freaking call there.
You want me to do it again?
Yeah,
Too bad.
Oh, dang it. I was really excited. But the Mythic Edition, they kind of sent out an apology card to people that were trying to buy the Mythic Edition. I'm seeing some people that actually received their boxes and still got the card.
So these cards are like really good. They're full art, no border, foil.
Ugh.
They look
So
like some of them are
fucking
alternate
awesome.
art. They're almost
So
all really
gorgeous.
good cards.
This basically what they're doing here is how we make our proxies.
Yeah.
Like we make our proxies full
Except
art.
for foil.
Yeah, and
these
foil,
are foil.
and real. Like
And real. Yeah.
Ours
I mean, there's that too.
But these are amazeballs. Like, and
We're just giving them out.
I know, and Larry's like, I hope Adam, you get one. So far,
Not.
I didn't get
As
one.
of this recording, Saturday night, Adam does not have
But
an ultimate box topper.
Damn it, I still laugh. How am I not supposed to laugh? Because your arms are like spread out and everything. Yes.
If we talk about this next week, I'm going to come like the Ultimate Warrior and have like bright armbands and like paint on my
for
face.
the podcast so they can
Of
hear
course.
it.
Yeah.
You're just gonna like put it on the mic. I don't know. Put it
Have
on
the
mic.
little streamers flap against the mic.
But yeah, so these look amazing. By the time you hear this, you probably know what they are.
Yeah, so
we
they're
can
going to
kind
do a
of guess,
special announcement on November the 5th.
which is when this podcast will be out, and we could
what is
speculate
the-
right now, but then we'd sound like jackasses
It's
because
not
you already know.
jackassery, but we just it's pointless.
Yeah.
It's not going to help us, not going to help you.
Currently, we hope that it's
So wait for go find the announcement.
we hope that it's some sort of thing that they're going to be a little more easy to come by. They're
Oh, I could probably throw this in the link, or you could, because I'll probably already send you the info over.
okay.
But
the new stuff?
like if they announce it Monday morning
Right.
or something,
Yeah,
we
we'll
could just
throw it in
toss
there.
that. Maybe go and look in the show notes, and we might have a link to it there if it is available when we're posting this.
Right.
How about that?
There we go.
Did that work?
Got it covered.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Next, let's move on to our next topic, and that is actually how we store our cards, Lowry. How do you store your cards?
So I kind of like put them in big piles.
Just all over the place.
And then like there's a reason why I chose DuckTales for the opening song last week. I dive into them.
Oh, you almost
I
spilled your
almost
beer
knocked
there.
over there.
He was very
so I
excited.
dive into them and swim around. And that's why I have a beard, so that you can't see my paper cuts.
So speaking of that, have you seen the Family Guy episode where Peter does that?
No.
Where
Oh,
he
where he
jumps
dives
in and he's like broken bones and everything.
I have seen
It's like, why did they do this? This is not real. Why did he dive into the goal?
That's really funny, yeah.
So that's kind of what
Family
you're
Guy
doing.
can be funny every once in a while.
Oh, Family Guy is my favorite. I love that show. But I haven't watched it in years, but the new stuff, all the old stuff I used to...
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I remember it. And you're like,
Yeah.
hey, let's watch
Watch
Family Guy.
Family
It's
Guy
like,
for the...
Jesus, I'd
Seen
like to
every
do
episode like
something else.
30 times the first 5 seasons or
Yeah.
whatever before they brought it back again. Anyways,
Being your friend is a chore sometimes.
thanks, Larry.
Yep.
Where's the other beer, you dick? All right. So what do you do? Seriously, how do you go through your cards? Where
Now
do
that
you...
I wasted 3 minutes of everybody's life by making shit up. So in general rule, I like to have mine in like at least a penny sleeve, like if it's under $5. And I have mine in
If it's under $5?
if it's under $5.
So if it's like 50 cents, you have it in a penny sleeve, a 25 cent?
Yep.
Really? You have
this
all
point.
your cards in penny sleeves?
pretty much.
Holy shit.
So, and this is my friend Matt's fault for the most part. What he did was when he moved out of state, he gave me a ton of his bulk cards, and they were in alphabetical order, color alphabetized. So it started out artifact, black,
Man, that
blue,
would take a long time.
and then he also had all of the cards together. And at that point, I had just like set and just in that color. And so I integrated it into his system, which was really nice to be able to be like, black, slide through. But I also put them like 4 ofs in a penny sleeve, because then I'm not sliding through like 4 cards. I'm just going through one type. And so it's a lot easier for me to like
so are there
go
in those
through
those big boxes that have like 5 rows type of thing, or 3 rows or whatever, so that's what you use it in?
So I have like 6 of those full, and they're all and they're also set organized.
Oh man.
So you're going from
so when I see all those sitting down there, it looks like chaos to me, but it's not chaos. It's organized chaos.
Yeah. It is, it's Zendikar, Worldwake, Rise of Eldrazi, into Innistrad, into
Do you have any breakers in between, or you just kind of know by the cards just flipping through?
Well, I just have little tags,
okay,
with
so you do.
like a note card cut to fit inside, and then that sticks out a little bit with the name on it.
Nice.
And I'm able to go through and like I filled up an entire like 5 sleeve box in the last year of random cards that I picked up.
How long did it take you to organize to that?
Just the 5 or like 5, and then integrate that into that took forever.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, holy shit! If I did that, it would take me so fucking long.
Yeah, so it is really like, because over time, like I'm pulling cards, like building decks, but it's a lot easier for me to find cards.
No, definitely.
Or like if something spikes, I can go and find it right then, throw it on trade, or try and like trade it in, or
So do you have any of your cards in binders or anything like that? Like, do you have your what happens? Well, I guess we'll get into the over 5. We can go back and forth.
So that's basically all of my bulk.
That's your under $5.
No, that's my
under $1,
under 50 cents, commons, uncommons. That's it. And so like my rares and uncommons and cards that I play with, cards that are like basically $1 and up, I have next to my magic desk.
It's a magical desk.
I just have a lot of magic cards on that, and it's more of what my wife only sees. Like the big mounds of cards are out of sight.
So is that organized like that too then?
Those aren't, or like they are. So those are in like the 1100 card box. That is just like one long box. And so I have that in color, and then I have it separated between creature and non-creature spells on one side or the other. Those are still in penny sleeves, grouped together. And then just like, it's also like I thumb through those a lot. And so that protects them quite a bit from me going through it. And then everything like $5 to $10 I put in a like playing sleeve in the middle to kind of separate it. And then that also allows me to go like, these are cards that I play with and are over $1, and then these are cards that are quite good, and I should make sure that I'm taking a look at them. And so generally when I'm making a deck and like I'm in red and blue, I'll look through that box of red and another box of blue.
Okay.
And then that allows me to be like, hey, I need this creature, and then I only have to look through half of the box.
Okay.
And then, I need this enchantment. It's going to be in here. It's separated from the mass bulk. And that's just kind of like, that's not even like the spec parts of like, that's just like how I find my cards for my decks, essentially. And then 10 and up, when we have the proxies or whatever, if it's a proxied card or if it's over $10, I put that in a binder.
Okay.
And I have lands and then everything else. So
like lands in a separate binder, or
lands are in a separate binder because I have like, I didn't know what to do with like foil lands. I have like Portal 3K lands. I have like mountain from that's like special. I want to say it's like APOC. That might not be right, but it's like a special mountain that's like $20, and it looks like Mount Fuji or something. So it's pretty rare to find. Like, it's just kind of like my random weird lands in there, along with, filter lands, shock lands, fetches, duels, all that stuff. Like every special good land goes in there as well. Man lands.
Now, do you? The only reason I'm asking because of how my stuff goes. Do you have your stuff like in a safe or anything like that? Do you hide them under your bed and your...
Or if anybody finds out where I live, yes, they are in a safe.
And there's a dog that guards it. It's a 3-headed dog, like from Harry Potter. And
that'd be Cerebus, which is
I'll say
an actual
I didn't
folklore
start
thing, not Harry
safing
Potter.
mine until recently. Once I started going through.
So yeah, you have your all of your good cards in a safe.
Pretty much. Well, I can go through my stuff too, but yeah. So that's pretty much. So you have your 2 binders with your $10 plus or whatever.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
And then all of my extra stuff, like if I'm speccing or if I just have more rares than 4 of or whatever. Or really, I'm down to 2 in my rare boxes.
Yeah.
I get 2 in there, and otherwise it's just too packed. And so I've taken everything out and put them into random boxes I don't look through.
They don't go into a trade thing at all?
No.
Okay.
No, because I mean, either I want 4 of them or they're not worth putting on trade. Generally, if they're reprinting it in a commander set, it's pointless to trade it right away. So you hold on to it, and then once it recovers, then you can throw it up there. But it takes time.
So I go quite a bit different, and so that was interesting because I actually didn't know how you did your. I saw your boxes around, and I didn't know how. That's pretty freaking organized, especially for your stuff your cheaper stuff.
Especially for me in general.
I just thought it was fucking chaos. I was like, I don't know how Larry finds his cards.
I don't know how he makes a deck in 3.5
hours. There's cards over here, and then there's cards upstairs. They're all in different rooms, and you have one up. You have the main ones are upstairs, right?
And
then your other ones are in the basement.
And then I have I don't look at those very often.
Okay.
It's more that's where I bring a lot of the extra stuff from
where it just sits.
But yeah, it more sits. Sometimes you go down there for specific things. I built a Scorpion God deck with not on the podcast or anything, but there's not a lot of expensive -1/-1 counter cards. And so I went down to Shadowmoor and started digging for those kind of cards.
And that's what's nice is having that organized enough where you can see that.
I'm just able to sit down and be like, Shadowmoor, boom, pull it, know the colors, I know where they're going to be. And so what I really should be doing is thank you, Matt, for making me a better organized person.
Right. So mine's a bit different. I don't hold on to cards as much as probably you do. The cards that I'm just this is shit and I won't ever use it, I throw those into trades. Not trades, it's more of when Puka was a thing, which I'm still kind of using, not really. The last couple months I haven't put my stuff on Puka as much, but the only reason I'm doing that is when I get my points up to 1,000, I already have my unstable lands. What do? You promote it or whatever? I paid for the promotion. And so those are on there for that. I'll get them for $10, so I'm fine giving away my crap commons and whatever to get one of those for $10. Anyways, those I just get out. They're in a completely different box. It's just the same big box that you're talking about. I don't have those very organized. It just goes in from when I put them in. So that's kind of how I.
But you're looking at it as chaff.
Yep.
You're just I hardly even want them.
Right. Sometimes this is a funny thing is sometimes I'll build a deck and I'm like, I don't have that card, and so I'll buy it and then go on, and then I'll think about it later. I'm like, wait a second, I'll go on, because Puka, the nice thing is, or even Card Sphere, when you put it on there, you can go and search and see if you have the card. I'm like, oh shit, I already had 7 of those cards. But I typically will buy the foils if they're really cheap. But anyways, so that's just my crap that I won't use.
The other thing that I forgot is generally I just keep a 4 of unless I think it's a good card.
Right.
So I had a bunch of Faithless Lootings forever. They were 50, 75 cents or whatever. Not worth trading, not worth selling, but a good card. And now it's, almost $2. And I took, 8 of the 12 and I started trading them like hotcakes. And so that is also helpful because they're not worth storing 12 of them anywhere that I want to look at a ton. So that's just another way that I do it.
Yeah. So then my storage part, this is where it's different than yours. My cards that are under $5 that I just think could go in decks, new cards that come out or whatever. I'm like, oh, this like the Surveil. All the Surveil mechanics, I kept all that stuff. Even if they were commons, I was like, I need 4 of those because I think Surveil is pretty sweet. I might make a deck someday with it. But those all go in binders. So I have every binder is color coded, so I have a black binder, which is for black cards, a red binder that's for red cards, and then they're sorted in the binders, not by set. It's more of it goes by instance, then sorceries, enchantments, enchant creatures, enchant
you
players.
Break it down like that, where you can. Okay.
So then I can. So yeah, enchantments, enchant creatures, enchant players, enchant lands, all that stuff. That it goes down to that.
Enchant lands. What's
green?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but green is the only one that does that really. Well, there's some other ones, but that's kind of the breakdown of
Where
that.
do you put your fortify cards?
My fortify,
Equip lands.
Equip lands.
There's like one card that does it. Look it up.
So then I get into creatures, and then at the very back
Future
is
sight. Give
walls.
Me a hint. Yeah, walls at the end.
Just to have them.
It should be in the front because of Arcadius and how much you spec on that.
So that's how my cards go from under $5, the ones that I'll use in decks and stuff like that, and whatever. I'll mostly only keep 4, unless it's a card like Soul Ring or something like that. That it's going to go in a lot.
Swiftfoot Boots, Lightning Greaves,
all those.
Yeah.
I have a ton of those.
Core cards for Artifact Commander.
Exactly.
Yeah, cards that go in a ton of decks.
Right.
Yeah.
And so in Soul Ring, I would almost push up into my more expensive cards, but I have so many. I just was looking at those today.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have a Soul Ring in every single deck. I think there's maybe one deck that doesn't have a Soul Ring in it. I don't remember why, but I don't have a Soul Ring in one deck. But
shame.
I still have about
25
extra Soul Rings.
Do you really?
Yes, because every commander set has
a
a freaking Soul Ring in it, and all my decks, I'm killing decks and all that. My general range is about 20 EDH decks, 15 to 20. So I have my 15 to 20, and every time a commander set, we buy more of those, and I keep getting more Soul Rings.
Understandable, yeah.
So I have a shit ton, and I haven't sold any off. Cause
I might be at 20 right now, but I've been able to trade them somehow. Like, I don't understand why everybody doesn't just already have them.
I know. I was thinking about that today, too.
There's no reason why they should be like $2-3. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like what is it? Command Tower. Command Tower, that first set when it came out. It went up.
Yeah, it was like a $5 card.
But now they kept reprinting it. Now
it should not be like $1 or $2.
Yeah.
I should be able to,
So that's those binders just sit out. Like those are sitting on my desk, whatever.
I've traded Command Towers as well. Why? I don't know. Yeah. Just go buy a product.
Right. Or anything Commander and you got it.
Yeah.
So then I kind of do the next step up. I have cards at between basically $1 and $5 that I will use in decks a lot, or are on the reserve list, or cards that I think could go up, where I'm like, okay, I don't want to put them in that other binder because I don't want to lose track of them. These are ones I want to keep an eye on that might actually jump up to over $5, $10, whatever. Yeah. So those are in a separate binder that I actually keep in a safe. Next to my desk and everything, and then the next step is my $5
next to your
and
magic
over.
Desk.
My working magic desk. Yes, my working magic.
But your magical working desk.
But then the next step is I have 2 binders. I had to split it because it got so big. But $5 and over cards. So you do your $10 and over. Mine's $5. No. And the $5 and over, almost every one of those cards I have as a proxy.
Yeah.
So those are in binders, but Lowry's idea when I first started doing it is that first row next to the 3 ring, the metal ring.
Yeah,
there are no cards.
Yeah, I don't put them in next to the binder or like the rings, or when I have used it, because I used to collect baseball and football cards when I was a kid. I'd put them in there, and then they'd always freaking get the damage from the rings.
The ring dent in it.
And so that's why I switched over to boxes when I started like getting a lot more cards, just going, I don't want to have all these. I don't want the potential for this.
The thing that is different, and I'm doing it just out of safety because these are my $5 and over. Some things are $5, some things are $10, some things are a few $100, that are in there. But the 3 to 4 inch ring binders they're a straight bend, so you don't get that happening. Yeah. But I still, just out of safety, I don't have that on that first row.
Now they do have, like, I believe they're called monster pockets, where there aren't any rings and it's just like a book.
Yeah,
but those suckers are freaking
they're expensive as shit. Yeah,
you're talking about holding like 30 cards and it costs like $10.
Exactly. That's I've looked at those and I'm like, man, I'd have to buy so many of those. Like, that'd be so expensive.
Yeah, when I was here last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, when I was looking through your binder when you were showing me the Masterpiece Planeswalkers, your binder was freaking huge. You know, you have hundreds of cards in there.
Yeah.
You would spend $1,000 on Monster
just
Pocket.
buying those. Yeah.
And so, like, if you want to carry around like your best cards and show them off, like, that's probably what you want to hold those in.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, I don't go to an LGS or anything.
I don't carry my binder anywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a reason why we have proxies. We don't want to carry it around.
Right.
We want to leave it.
Yeah. So that sits in the safe. One thing I might start doing, and this is probably a good idea, is start putting the ones that are in the binders in penny sleeves. Like
in the perfect fits.
Yeah, perfect fits, and throwing
possible.
those in there just to keep them completely sleeved up and everything.
Yeah,
so.
and I have liked my perfect fits for like decks. So, you know, perfect fit inside of a card sleeve, it does make it even more unmanageable to like shuffle during a game. But it's been really nice.
So then,
organizational wise, and you brought up reserve list. I forgot mine. Like, if it's a playable reserve list card, it isn't everything that I've talked about. But there are plenty of reserve list cards that like I've spec'd on that are just like unplayable.
Right.
I have those like off in a separate. I don't touch them. I don't look at them. They're like next to my snow-covered islands. Like, I'm not gonna play with those unless very specific reason.
Are they labeled there then? Or are they're just off in that same stuff?
No, they're just off. I know where they're at.
So that's where I get into the next part. Is I'm kind of the same way. Where then I have the specs. My specs, I kind of have those sorted in by almost every set I buy a fat pack. So I have a box of every one. So depending on which spec I have, if it's from that set, I put it in that box. Blah 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 blah. Some sets I don't have, the box from because I wasn't always buying them.
Yeah.
So those will go in a general box. My reserve list ones that are, like you said, not playable are in one of those boxes because it's one of my spec cards.
Yeah, and you're just not going to touch them. You're just waiting for it to kind of go off, and you know that you have it, but you don't need to look at it.
And then those are now all in the safe. So all the safe stuff used to be just for my $5 and over.
So would you say that your Magic cards need a safe space?
Yes, they do. But the reason I actually upgraded my safe this last couple Magic weeks cards. Or whatever, because
it took
the
you
safe
forever. You got a new safe.
Yeah, I got a new safe. Well, the reason why is because the safe I had was just big enough for that binder to fit in, and as my collection of my $5 and over got bigger and bigger, my binder was so freaking thick. Oh, good for you.
I wasn't saying that.
I'm just impressed. As I was sliding it in the safe, I was sliding it in the safe. Bad. I was sliding into the safe. It was so big that God, it really sounds really bad.
Well, you shouldn't have repeated yourself sliding it into the safe 14 times there.
The binder was so wide that the pages would like slide off to the side, like the middle ones would slide a little bit, and they get caught on the freaking edge of the safe. Well, so I had a few cards in there that got damaged. The worst one is Mox.
Opal?
Yeah, Mox Opal.
Oh yeah, that is.
No, it wasn't Opal. It was it Mox?
Amber?
I don't have Amber. That's the new one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have Amber. There's Mox Opal. What's the one that was in the Eternal Masters one? It got reprinted. One of the Mox. Chromox. Yeah, right. My Chromox got scuffed on the fucking corner, and then that's when I freaked out. I was like, Cindy, we're going to buy. I'm upgrading this goddamn safe. I'm not dealing with this anymore because I don't want. But that was really the only one that got messed up that was worth anything. And that's kind of when I organized things before. I had cards that were under $5 in that, and some of those got damaged, but that was it. So I was like, okay, one card out of thousands of cards is fine that I got damaged, but that's when I decided I need to actually have a big enough safe that I not only have that, but I also have my specs and everything in there as well. Because those are thousands of dollars as well with specs. It's just sitting there waiting for them to jump. But I spent money to get those, and so that's kind of the reason I did that.
Protect your investment.
Right.
So, okay. I mean, that makes sense. Is there anything else that I kind of do?
Well, okay, so what happens when do you do anything? Oh, you don't sell. So when you're going to trade stuff, you just know where they are. So you don't really need to.
Well, I do set those off to a certain degree as well. So like for my trades, I will pull those from my specs section. So like I buy a bunch of like I've talked about this in the past where I'll go through bulk sections and just pick out cards that are bulk.
Mm-hmm.
But like I have like 20 Knight's Whisper from Eternal Master reprint, and at that point they were bulk. Now they're $1, and so they're at least ready. I think I've put them in. I haven't been able to move them yet, but again, I don't have to either. I spent 20 cents. I spent $4 on it, and they're $20 right now,
Nice.
and they can easily go up more.
You could probably. Did you look in with your sending that in for your?
Yeah, not worth sending
Not
it in
worth?
for Card
Okay.
Kingdom. Yeah, I just put together. I've been able to put together just a random list of cards. Like I moved my Conflagrates, which is like a dredge card, but I picked all those up for like 50 cents or $1, and I traded them in for $3. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
Get rid of them.
Nice.
I had a bunch of Curious Obsessions from Rivals of Ixalan, trade those in for $3. And it's just like, I probably, again, I spent probably $20, $30 on buying these cards, sent them in,
And you're
I got
getting
150 in credit.
150. Nice.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
it's a decent turnaround in my mind.
So yeah,
But I have those. Yeah, I have those in a box, and they're color coded, and then they're also like standard, modern, everything else,
Nice.
like older, legacy.
so that's sorted
like
that way.
that,
Cool. Yeah, I just once I put it on eBay, I pull those. Oh, really quick, the ones for my specking cards when I put them in the boxes, the fat pack boxes. I put the foiled ones in sleeves, and if they're worth a lot already, like if they're a regular, not in foil, and it's worth $5, $10, $20, I'll also put that in a sleeve. But for the most part, that's how I find my foils a little bit easier. And most of the time I'm buying foils anyways now, but whatever. But then when I go to sell them, they come out of the safe when they're on eBay, and that's in a different box. It's like next to my computer, ready to just pull out. Because then I'm doing a lot of sales, so I want to have easy access to them. And then, yeah, so that's what I do with the sales stuff. What else? I think that was about it. The only other thing I was going to give kind of a tip for when you go to, if you're going to sell on eBay, and really eBay is the only place you really, I know that TCG for the more expensive stuff, if you sell on there, people do take pictures, but really invest in, you don't really need to invest, just go get an LED light, especially for foil cards. Get a backdrop that you use all the time. Right now I'm using the Unstable Plains playmat as my backdrop, so that's like my backdrop. And then when I'm taking a picture of my foil card, I use that LED to really show the shine of the foil. Yep, it makes it really freaking look nice. In fact, people are stealing my pictures from other eBay listings.
How dare they?
I know. So if you really get pissed about it,
well, you should do
watermark.
Yeah,
you put your
you can
company
even do,
or whatever, your store
company
name,
and then the number that it is.
It didn't bother me too much. I was like, whatever. I have one more card to sell, but she was copying, taking my goddamn picture. Anyways, but yeah,
it was
so
probably one of our listeners because they're all super intelligent, and they're like, "That's a good idea."
Right. So I would highly suggest getting good lighting. I personally put that on my eBay listing, just saying this is the actual card, not stock photos, because probably 60-70% of the pictures on there are stock photos.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's not. They're just like, here's a card that's in near mint or a light play, and you can't even see
what the actual card is.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that.
So that's.
But it'd be a lot easier. But
yeah,
if you can see the actual card, that's nice.
So that's pretty much it. I think that was it for my selling cards. Is there anything you wanted to add with that at all? Anything you do specifically?
Not organizational wise when it comes to like trades or anything.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move into our last topic, which is kind of our Smith Specs of the Week.
Smith Specs of the Week.
Commander 28 edition.
2018.
28. Did I say 28?
Yeah.
All right.
We're on episode 38?
Yeah.
Jeez.
28. I just skipped all those other numbers. All right. So, do we just want to go down the list?
Well, I think we want to talk about
talk about it a little bit.
Like one thing that we kind of did here was like we had a bigger list and we kind of shrunk it. We're like, well, how do we want to do this? Because I think there's a lot of cards that are worth buying if you don't have them. But it's a little difficult to know like in my opinion, it's harder to spec on the bigger ones on Commander. Just on overall, like if I look at the highest cards out of all of the Commander sets, that's roughly like $20.
Right.
And so if I'm seeing like the best, if I'm seeing the best card, is that $20 worth? And that's kind of where we went. Is just kind of like,
well, yeah,
it's hard for the expensive ones to think that they're going to get the 20 necessarily.
We had a bigger list, but then we kind of talked about it, and I was just like,
if this is going to take Smith specs, let's treat it like specs.
Right. And I was like, really, out of this list, these are the only ones that I wouldn't buy this, or this one. These are the only ones I'll probably actually buy.
Yeah.
Spec or actually get.
And we pretty much agreed on all of them that we would spec on.
So why don't we start off with our number one, where we've freaking have been raving about.
We think this is the most expensive card that's worth purchasing,
right?
In our opinion, and that's Treasure Nabber. This card is really good. It's sitting around $7 right now, and that's, in my opinion, your best card out of Commander 2018.
Right. I totally agree.
I think it has the longest stretch. I think it will recover.
We've seen it played once so far, and
it was stealing soul rings like ridiculous.
It was so good that it was stealing soul rings when it wasn't even in play anymore, because
that's pretty good.
Because we forgot. We just assumed that he got it every time, and here you go. And I think Lowry was dead at that point, and you're like, what? Why are you taking their soul rings?
Because I didn't have anything being stolen, so I wasn't paying attention to what was going on.
It's like, why do you keep taking it?
I
killed that a long time ago.
I was like, that was gone. But Treasure Nabber, that's a really good card. I think it fits a lot of decks that are in red. I think it's going to be really good. I think $7
a color that
be
doesn't
really good.
Have a lot of ramp in it either. It adds.
Well, you have your artifacts, but
it adds.
You have spells that will give you the mana, but not a permanent source.
And
of
people
mana.
play the crap out of soul rocks, and there's a lot of mana rocks. Soul. I'm mixing. God, my words. this is awesome tonight. But everybody, you're playing a 4-player game. You're gonna get
stealing
2
something.
people.
You're ramping good.
Yeah,
it's a scary card. So I highly, I think I'm probably gonna sit down here and with my store credit, I'm gonna at least get a play set. Probably pick up, get 8 total in my collection. Yeah, that's probably what I'm aiming for, because it is a more expensive card.
I can see this card jumping over $10-15.
Yeah, I can see this doubling easy.
Yeah. That's the most expensive one on our list. Do we just want to jump down to the next one?
Yeah, let's. So
next
I'd
one,
say the next 2, since they're fairly similar.
Okay, so the top 2 planeswalkers we liked from it was, Lord Windgrace is getting played like crazy. Yeah. But then also Saheeli, I feel like, is
the gifted.
Yeah,
and I think we raved about this one, but every time I play against it, it's just
so
like,
good.
This is stupid.
It's just the 2+ abilities, and I know we're repeating it, and I've done freaking orgasmed on it the first time when we were talking about, but the 2+ abilities is insane. Yeah. And when we played it against it last week, we didn't really get into depth with that, but man, that fucking card is good.
It just is such a good engine. It just, Saheeli, and it's sitting around $3 right now. It says $5,
but
on
you
Card
can
Kingdom,
find it.
You can get it for under $3.
Yeah.
And Lord Windgrace, you can get for under $4.
So, and these are foil. Remember, these are all come in foil.
These are planeswalkers that you can play as your commander.
Right.
Those are the best 2 in my opinion. Estrid, I really don't like my deck.
Yes, you're bitter against it, is what you are.
It's my least favorite deck that I've built in a long time.
Oh, really?
I just threw a piece of paper.
Yeah, you're pissed. He threw paper.
You're gonna have to vacuum now.
Take that, you bastard.
I'm not picking it up. I don't even see it anymore. It's a small piece of paper.
And then Amanatu, people I
think it's a cool card.
It's interesting, but yeah,
I don't think it's something that I want to spec on.
Right.
I think it's maybe a little too out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to work to make it work.
Work.
Whereas like Lord Windgrace and Saheeli are just plain powerful. Yeah. And I think those are the more more popular decks, especially Lord Windgrace. So I think those 2 are very easy specable that are under $3 and $4.
Yeah.
So,
and then our next one, actually, it's kind of two of them together.
Again.
It's an interesting mechanic that they used in this was kind of messing with your commander zone with these two cards. So the first one is the Geode Golem, and that's the one that when it deals damage, it's a golem that has trample. I think it's 4/4. I can pull
5/3.
5/3. Okay,
Yeah.
but when it deals damage, you get to play your commander for free. Like it doesn't. You don't have to pay the freaking commander tax or anything like that. It just needs.
I think you need to pay the tax.
Do you need to pay the tax?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, look that up.
Oh well, damn it.
Yeah, so you still have to pay the additional cost, like the commander tax, but you're casting it for free.
Well, I guess for $1, he's still pretty
Yeah,
good.
it's still really cheap.
It really works
cheating out a
for
card.
if you're using big commanders too.
Yeah.
Like if your commander's a freaking huge casting cost, dude. And even still, you pay. Let's say it dies once, you pay 2.
Yeah, you're paying 2 to cast your commander after the first death. Like this, it's cheating out the cost. And the other one is Myth Unbound, which reduces the cost by 1 for every. So it turns your commander cost into 1 instead of 2. You get the 1/1 counters on it,
And then you also get to draw a card when your commander is put into your
I was
command
wrong
zone
about
from
the
anywhere.
1/1 counters.
No, not 1/1. Yeah, not 1/1 counter, but it costs 1 less each time it's been cast from the command zone, and then you also get to draw every time your commander dies.
Yeah.
So it's giving you a bonus, and it's only a 3-drop for an enchantment that sits out there.
And the reason why we're kind of thinking that these are speccable on is just because they're pretty unique when they're messing with the price of your commander.
Right.
And those tend to be really powerful cards. You know, if you think of Devry or Aloro or cards that are like Carador, Ghost Chieftain, like these cards have a benefit in the command zone or coming out cheaply. You know, even Yuriko in this one where you get to ninja it out.
Yeah.
That's pretty powerful.
It's freaking ridiculous.
So just being able to mess with that can really improve. And these are some of the few cards like what is it? Command Beacon is the land.
Yep.
And that puts it from your command zone into your hand. That's like a $30-$40 card right now.
Yeah.
That's probably the
most expensive
commander card that they have printed in these sets. And that's the only one that was doing it at that time. These are kind of messing with it a little bit more.
And they're relatively cheap, especially the Golem you can get for under $1, and then the enchantment is probably around $2 or something like that.
Myth Unbound, you can probably find it for 2 or less.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think Goldfish is up on their prices at this point, because I hadn't seen in my local like Targets and whatnot. I hadn't seen it stocked at all for since like September or even like August.
Your Target doesn't have Commander in it?
It didn't have a Commander in it after like the first 2-3 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mine
now
has
I'm seeing them everywhere.
That's what I was going to say.
So
they're
like,
there now.
Since I got back from Germany, like they weren't there, and then the next week they were. So I think a second wave came out, fulfilled, and so prices are going to drop because there's more product out there.
Next on our list is... Did I do the last one? So you want me
You've
to
done the last 2.
Okay, you can do that then.
Bully. Isolated Watchtower. Now this is the land. It taps for a colorless, but you can tap 2, scry 1, and then you get to put a land into play if it's a land, and you can only do this ability if an opponent has 2 or more land than you. So this is kind of ramp in any color that you so need. Scrying on a card is pretty good. Repeatable scry if you're able to.
Yeah, because they have. That's the hard part. Is it is a little confusing because that's where I got confused. Is you can't do that scry ability and all that unless
they have more than
you, more than 2 lands than you. But you're playing.
There are plenty of ramp players out there that just get land out like crazy.
AKA Lowry Smith.
Yeah, so I'm not going to play this card, but I can see why other people play this card.
But yeah, it's. I mean, and it's still the worst case scenario is it gives you a freaking 1 mana.
Like like you put this in non-green decks essentially.
Right.
Like if you're a monocolor, anything but green, that's you put it in that deck in my mind.
And these are around $1.
Yeah,
you can get these for $1.
And again, it's a rare land. They tend not to reprint their rare lands. I think the only one like Homeward Path, they've only reprinted once since the initial Commander. Like they just don't really do it.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't even done like Opal Palace, which is a common. They've been doing the Command Tower every time, but they really don't reprint those Commander lands, really.
And then the last on our list is a pretty freaking sweet card. It's the Ravenous Slime. It's that green ooze, and it can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. The sweet thing about this card, and it always throws me off because whenever an opponent's creature dies, instead it gets exiled. Then you first glance, you're like, oh, and then it gets a 1/1 counter. It gets a 1/1 counter for its power.
Yeah.
So it's freaking just getting huge, and then it's making it so that it can't be chump blocked.
Yeah, it's hard to chump block. It is graveyard hate for your opponents. It gets bigger, so it's pretty similar to like Crush of the Bloodbraid. Actually hates against Crush of the Bloodblade.
Yeah,
because those creatures need to die, and these get exiled instead. This is doing a ton, and it's cheap.
Yeah,
and it's only green. Like, it's Crush of the Bloodbraid just went up a ton. I'm surprised that Ravenous Slime didn't follow suit.
Yeah, this is almost a must add for every green deck because it's not killing your card. If it's at all graveyards, then he kind of got to, or every
good, but it's your opponents.
Yeah, so you're sitting pretty with that card, and that I bet you it says $2, but you could probably get that for cheaper.
I think you can get it for under that as well, and I think this is something that you can definitely. I think this goes in a ton of green decks. And this will get huge.
And we saw it when we played that opening weekend or whatever.
It was like a 9/9 doing nothing.
It was freaking crazy.
It just was there.
And it's just it's hitting on so many decks, exiling their creatures. It's pretty freaking crazy. All right, I think that's about it for our list for that. And like we were saying, that right now we're kind of at that time when these are the cards you want to start picking up. I mean, they're going to start. These ones are the ones we think are actually going to start rising here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those are the much more sure things. I think we both have a bigger list.
Yeah,
but we don't want to tell you.
So. Yeah, we don't want to give away all or no.
Yeah,
no. These are the ones we broke down that we felt like if we're going to sit down and buy, which Lowry is going to once he gets his credit. I'm going to. Now that I have my list refined a little bit, I'm going to probably go and do probably the same thing. 2 play sets of these and just sit on them.
Easily two play sets of all these.
Yeah. This is going to be a little more expensive for the Treasure Nabber. I might just go for a play set of that. Or I don't know. Maybe 2 play sets. It's not too bad. I don't know. I got to think about it.
How do you just make a bunch of proxies for us?
Yeah. Well,
get on that.
I do have to make a Treasure Nabber proxy. I haven't done that yet. That's a good point. All right. Well, that should do it for this week's episode. You can follow us on Twitter at CommanderSmiths.
You can Gmail us.
And you can YouTube us.
And you could...
talk in a sexy, quiet voice.
Is that what I'm doing? Sorry, I do it so natural. Just happens.
Just sexy. I can't turn all this off. But yeah, that should do it for this week. I don't know what we're doing next week. What are we doing next week? We haven't even talked about it. So yeah, we got this week done. Yeah, now we got to figure out next week. Oh, we'll definitely be talking about those fucking Ultimate Box Toppers. I think we end there. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Box Topper!